Shalom. This is your brother Tazaya Amar of GMS Valdosta, Georgia, coming out once again with a weekly lesson. And I pray that it be edifying. But first, we want to give all praises and glorifications to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Yikakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us the true knowledge of these scriptures. I want to say Shalom in a heart to all the Ark ones and Arkwas that are striving and thriving in this same 100% true doctrine. Shalom. You know, it's the spirit that the word of the week for this particular week is the word strive. And this, in my introductions, I always use that terminology, thriving and thriving. That's what we are to do in this walk, on this journey, to continue to strive, realizing that there's going to be setbacks and stumbling blocks. If not, and hey, there's no challenge. This journey, there's challenges along the way. And these challenges are they're pretty much by design. Are you gonna fold when the least little opposition you come against? Scoffers or mockers. Losing out on relationships. Just there's all kind of snares, setbacks, and stumbling blocks in this walk. And with that being said, let me go to my first scripture. It's going to be the book of Philippians, chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 12. Not as though I had already attained it, either were already perfect, but I follow after, if that I may apprehend that for which also I am apprehend of Yahweh Shai Salaki. I am apprehend of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. As the scripture read, not as though I had already attained it. We can't become complacent in this journey, on this walk. We just can't sit back and rest on our laurels, so to speak. No matter what we attain in this walk, hey, there's always something else that we can become aware of. You may be told a scripture, you're adamant about, just say for instance you got a photographic memory, when it comes to these scriptures. Man, I would love to have that. But just knowing scriptures and not applying them, hey, that's works. But hey, where's the faith? This is all in all. You got to put your body, soul, and mind into this walk, into this journey. And with that being said, my next scripture is going to be, let's see, we're going to go to the book of Hebrew chapter 13, starting at verse 5. Hebrew 13 verse 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he has said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. And as I said earlier, we're not to rest on our laurels, but we can be content in doing the things that are righteous, the things that we've been commanded to do. We can be content with doing those, but at the same time, as I said earlier, there's always something that we can grow on. We don't want to become just stagnant. Just come to a standstill. Just idle alone. No. We want to continue to strive in this walk. We want to be followers of Yahushua. He was forever, striving. He never rested on his laurels. Enough was never enough. And we must be in that same spirit, always striving, and by striving, you will thrive. They go hand in hand. If you strive, you will thrive. Thus said the Most High Yahweh by Shem Avashai by Shem Rikakadash. My next scripture, excuse me, Salaki, will be the book of Colossians. The book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily. Just speaking for myself, I enjoy going out to camp. I enjoy our weekly sit-downs, conference call, fellowship. It's my favorite pastime now since I came into this truth. And I'm going to read it again. Colossians chapter 3 verse 23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily. When it comes to this work. As to the Most High Yahweh, and not unto men. This, once again, this journey, hey, it has a destination. And the destination is what? Salvation. And in this walk, that's what we destined for. Hey, that's our all in all. To be delivered for what's coming to this wicked place. Verse 24. Knowing that of the Most High Yahweh ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance. And once again, the reward of the inheritance is salvation. For ye serve the Most High. For ye serve the Lord Hamashiach, whom the world ignorantly called Christ. And with that being said, my next scripture is going to be the book of 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 12. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believer in words, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Read that again. 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 12. Let no man despise thy youth. It's not just talking about age, or or your being an adolescent, a teen. It can also mean that you're young in mind. You're young in this truth. That's my name. Taza Yahama. Young in the truth. All praises. That's spiritual. All praises to Yahweh Bashem Awashai. Let no man despise that youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. If you align in your life and your walk in all these things I just named, in charity, in spirit, in faith, and in purity, hey, can't nothing, hey, people may say the different things, scorners and mockers against you. People gonna lie on you. Hey, if they lied on you, how was they're gonna lie on you. Different situation, but if you walking this walk and talking this talk, no weapon formed against you will prosper. All praises. And with that, I'm gonna move to the book of Galatians. The book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing. When you step out in this waters, like as I was saying earlier, all different things, snails and stumbling blocks, going to present itself. But what are we to do? That's just at the saying go, when the going get tough, the tough get going. And when you're rooted and grounded in this word, hey, obstacles gonna come. You can bet the farm on that. When you start walking this walk, Satan gonna send all his dominions at you, and he know your weakness too. So stay girded up with this word. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. Commit thy works unto the Most High Yahweh, and thy thoughts shall be established. Hey, once again, if you rooted and grounded in this work, being faithful, hey, the Most High know your thoughts. He know the inner man. And as I said earlier, this is a journey. This not a walk around, a walk in the park. This is a walk in a spiritual battlefield. And there's landmines, so to speak, which is snails, traps, booby traps, as we often bring out the fact, hey, we are behind enemy lines. We are warriors, troops behind enemy lines. And with that being said, I'm going to read that again. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. Commit thy works unto the Most High Yahweh, and thy thoughts shall be established. Align your life, your body, mind, and soul with the Most High Yahweh by Shem Shai, and everything will work out because He said it would. And with that being said, my next scripture is going to be the book of Luke. The book of Luke, chapter 13, verse 24. Strive to enter at the straight gate. Luke chapter 13, verse 24. Strive to enter in at the straight gate. What is that straight gate? The law, statutes, and commandments. For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able. Read that again. For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able. What does that make you think about? Let me go to the book of Matthew, chapter 22 and 14. The book of Matthew, chapter 22, starting at verse 14. For many are called, but few are chosen. Hey, that's confirmation on the book of Luke, chapter 13 and verse 24, which I'm going to read again. Luke chapter 13 verse 24. Strive to enter in at the straight gate, for many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able. Matthew 22 and 14. For many are called, but few are chosen. Plain upon tables. For many are called, but few are chosen. And with that, I'm going to close out with the book of Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 9. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High. For he that is entered into his rest, he also has ceased from his own works, as Yahweh Shai did from his. Let us labor therefore to enter into that rest. And what is that rest? Coming back to these law, statutes, and commandments. Seeking out the Most High Yahweh by Shem Shai with all sincerity. Lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. For the word of the Most High Yahweh is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and as a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart. Hey, this word is the most dangerous weapon known to mankind. Look at all the things that it can do. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword. That includes not only the ancient sword, but the modern day sword, which is your firearms and your all your weaponry that you can name. Piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit. There's no other weapons that can do that, known to man, but this word. And of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Hey, this word can pierce your heart, which is your mind. It can, if it's the Most High will, hey, it can change your whole world, your whole thought process. When once you was being wicked, hey, and then when that spirit come up on you, which is the word, which is quicken, make alive, you can't run, you can't hide. When that word zero in on you, the Most High got it. Hey, when the finger of the Most High touch you, it's a whole different outlook. You'll drop everything. Ask me how I know. You'll drop it like a bad habit. And with that being said, I'm going to close out by giving all praises and glorification to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rikakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us the true knowledge of the scriptures. I want to say shalom and a heart to all the Akwans and Akwas that are striving and thriving in the same 100% true doctrine. Shalom.